Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sheff United Way YouTube channel. I'm here, Mr. Ingun Nick. I'm going to be bringing Hal into the stream too. And I'm very, very excited about today because we are going to be talking about fixtures for the 2022 season, 2023 season. That will get some getting used to. Very, very excited. But before we get into talking about fixtures for the next season, few things that we just need to talk about that's happened today. So first of all, you've probably already heard about Rhian Bruce and Ollie McBurney, but I'm going to go through it anyway because Nottinghamshire Police have confirmed that Rhian Bruce and Ollie McBurney have been charged with common assault after an incident follow the Blades playoff semi-final second leg with Nottingham Forest. They're both going to be appearing at Nottingham Magistrates Court on Tuesday. We don't want to really say too much more about that as it's a legal case as of right now. We'll move on to talking about players as well, because today Hecky has been sat in front of fans and sponsors at this fixture release. And he's also told Radio Sheffield that Bogle will not be back for pre-season, but McBurney and Sharp should be. Now, also, Rhian Bruce is back in training as of right now, but they're kind of trying to ease him in. A few other things have come out of that event this morning with Heke. Things like they're trying to reduce the playing budget, transfers, things like that. We are not exactly close to some transfers. We might do that in another video, but hopefully Heke would like 2 new players before they go to Portugal. So that's something to think about. So, yeah, I think without further ado, I'll bring in Hal Stewart. Welcome to the stream, mate. How are you doing today?
Yeah, very well. It's always interesting, isn't it? Fixtures release day. You never really know to be like excited or it's just another day, because really the first day to actually get excited, I think, is the first day of the actual season.
Yeah, totally. And the thing is for me, Hal, I don't feel like there's too many exciting games to really get our teeth stuck into, other than the times of the season, like the first game, like the last game, like Christmas time, New Year's Day. There's only really Blackpool away that we always talk about. And yet again, it's a night kickoff midweek. However, this time it is round Christmas. So,
but it'd be cold. I mean, Blackpool, start of the season.
Blackpool's always cold anyway.
I've been once when we beat them, I think it was 3-1, and it was a really sunny day at the start of the season. I took my wife, and we had the best time.
Oh, you hadn't done that in ages.
I know, sorry.
I wish that had gone.
That's back for the 22-23 season. And I don't like when it's actually fallen. Obviously, we'll go into a bit more detail, but Blackpool away between Christmas and New Year. The other thing I suppose people look for as well is the birthday game. So have you looked at yours?
Do you know when my birthday is?
Do I know when your birthday is? Not only do I know when your birthday is, I know when it is so well that it's not even worth me saying it, because you know that I know. So it's better that you just say it. So that
Okay. So you know that it's the 10th of September, don't you?
I knew that it was the 10th of September.
Well, it's not. It's the 28th of September. It's the 28th of September, and there's absolutely no games anywhere around my birthday, which I'm devastated about. The 17th of September, we've got Preston North End away, which is not a bad one, to be fair, because Preston's not too far away from Blackpool. And then after that, it's the 1st of October. So nothing anywhere near my birthday, which I think that's one of the first times that's ever happened.
Yeah, same for me because of the World Cup. My birthday's in November, and right at the end of November. And that, of course, is when we have that break, which we will get into as we look through the fixtures.
Absolutely, mate. So let's start with the very first game of the season, the 1st of August, away at Watford. That is a Monday night kickoff. How do you feel about that?
You know what? I don't get too het up about these annoying kickoffs.
I do.
I know, these late games. For me, the reason is every game pretty much is a chore and a distance to get to. And you know, from what I told you off air, it's about to get a great deal further. So it doesn't really upset me as much. Watford is annoying because it's really close to me. And were it on a weekend, I'd be able to take my young nephews, but not allowed to take them to late games because they're so small. So That's annoying. Can't take them to that. Really is the only one I can do with them in the entire season. We roll on to a third season without me being able to take them to a game.
Surely there's other games.
Yeah, but you know why I can't do those.
I know, but
they could go without me.
So the away games: Watford, Middlesbrough, Luton. Luton's a perfect one.
Yeah.
Sorted. Luton's a great ground to go to.
Yeah, they love me there.
Last season we really enjoyed it, didn't we? We saw so many goals. It was a fantastic day out.
No, I mean, realistically, Watford away on a Monday night is terrible. Terrible for Blades fans. I don't like the fact that it has been moved for Sky. QPR away on a New Year's Day. Don't like that. Swansea and Bristol City, both away on Tuesdays. Great away days, both of those. A bit more difficult when they're weekdays. Last game of the season, also away from home. EFL doing us absolutely no favours. Having your first game and your last game away from home. That doesn't feel fair at all. So those are the ones that leapt out to me as being particularly bad in what realistically, it shouldn't make any sense, how this sentence, but it does. It's a bad fixtures list. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Totally. And that's the first thing that I noticed. Because you look at your first and you look at your last, because you think, do we have to win that game to go up, to get into the playoffs, to finish as high as you can? And they're both away, which, like you say, just doesn't feel right. And I don't think I've ever seen that. Like, I don't remember seeing an away an away first game and an away last game. I don't feel like that's the thing that anyone normally goes through. But let me pop the fixtures up on screen and you can twist your camera as we've already done. So there you go. Twisty. There we go. He's all good. He's all good. Now, I don't know if everyone can see this on screen.
It's tiny.
But we can. This is from Sheffield United, so blame them. So Watford, obviously, first game of the season, 1st of August. Then we play Millwall at home. And we're normally really good at beating Millwall at home. They never score last-minute winners against us and last-minute equalisers. And hopefully this time, Jake Cooper's going to be playing in a Sheffield United shirt, because that's what a lot of our fans want, don't they?
He's rubbish, so no.
What? You can't say he's rubbish when he scores so many goals against us.
He's really overrated. He's just good at scoring against the Blades. That is one of those things. And you know what? If he was a striker, Neil Warnock was still our manager, definitely would have signed. And actually, there is a fixture that we should mention as well, which is going to be sandwiched in really early on, which is that League Cup game, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let you talk about that, though.
All right, West Bromwich Albion, that is away from home at the Hawthorns, week commencing the 8th of August. The only way for me that this gets more exciting, because it's the dullest, I always think, and you probably agree with this, when you get a team in your own league, that's what you want to avoid in the League Cup. I don't care who it is, as long as they're not in the same league. But the only way to make that more exciting, if you change the managers for one game. So I want Neil Warnock in the Blades dugout, and I want Gary Megson in the West Brom dugout. Suddenly, get that on, that is pay-per-view box office.
Imagine the scenes. Or another ex-West Brom manager, like Darren Moore, for instance. That would be quite fun as well. Wonder where Darren Moore is these days.
James makes a good point, because you were talking about, both games being away at the start last season.
The point.
Birmingham at home, Fulham at home. So you know what? We only notice it when it's detrimental to our chances of promotion.
Of course we do. But Millwall is the first home game of the season. Hopefully we can, we can finally beat them. But that's two, I would say the first 4 games, maybe 5, maybe 6 are tough games. We don't know. Yeah. We don't know how good these teams are going to be. You look at Luton and you think that's a tough game away at Luton. But actually, is it? Because are Luton going to be as good as they were last season, next season? But we've got Millwall at home, which we've not done well in recent seasons. Middlesbrough away, obviously there's the added Wilder effect in there. And playing Middlesbrough so early on in the season away from home, I don't like that. I really don't. Then Sunderland at home. Sunderland, I think, are going to start like a train because their fans are going to get behind them. They are going to be kind of buzzing from getting promoted last season. We love Sunderland because they knocked out Sheffield Wednesday, which was fantastic to see, and they went up. Wickham, good shout. Yeah.
But the fans thing that you mentioned, it works both ways. When you have got a large fan base, if things are going well, they're fantastic. If things aren't going well, they can turn. I don't think the Sunderland fans necessarily will, because they'll feel like they're underdogs, whereas previously when we would have played them in this league, Sunderland fans would have expected them to bounce back to the Premier League. We all know how difficult that is. In fact, Sheffield United have never done it the first time of asking after being relegated.
Yeah, and I remember the last time we played Sunderland away. I know that one's at home, but away, we were complete the opposite. We were the underdogs. We'd got promoted from League One. They'd just come down from the Premier League, and we were probably expecting to get beaten away from home at Sunderland, because I know that happened early on in the season. And seeing Clayton Donaldson score 2 absolute rasping goals was always great to see. But anyway, we're talking about next season, and Sunderland will be a difficult game. I am sure of it. We've then got Blackburn, which who knows what they're going to do next season. They had
will they still have Ben Brereton Diaz, Nick?
I don't think they will.
I don't either.
And if they do, they may still have him. When we're talking, so the transfer window won't have shut by then. So maybe he will go on transfer deadline day or just before, because that's when a lot of players make big moves, just before the transfer deadline. So maybe he will still be playing for him, and maybe he'll be playing for a move, or will he not want to play in case he gets injured? So who knows about that? But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Luton, obviously, and then Reading at home. We obviously lost to Reading at home last season when we really needed to win that. So I think it's difficult to say, really. I don't think there's anyone that we should be too scared of in those first kind of 6-7 games in August. But at the same time, it could be a really difficult start.
Yeah, but the start, and in fact, the first game in particular, if there's anything that Sheffield United have proven, and really every team, is that the first game at the end of the season isn't that important. We've even seen Spain lose against Switzerland in a World Cup the first match and go on and win the whole thing. In my life, we have won 15, drawn 12, and lost 14 of our opening games. And it hasn't meant any difference to the end of season, whether we've lost it or finished in the playoffs. Even last season, we saw losing against Birmingham and ended up having a pretty decent season, although ultimately failing at the final hurdle, and the objective was promotion. But if you'd just have left it at that first game against Birmingham and asked 99% of Blades where you thought we'd have finished after that match, I don't think any of them would have said playoffs. So it won't be that crucial. It's all about how you finish.
Yeah, it really is. And what I've written down here, Hal, is I've written 2 things. I've written an easier run between a certain date and another date, and then a more difficult run. The easier run is early on for me, from the 20th of August until the 19th of October. If you look at those, so Blackburn Rovers, they had a really poor end to the season. Luton, we don't know. Reading, Hull City, Rotherham, Swansea, Preston, Birmingham City. None of these teams really kind of scream as like they're going to do really, really well next season. It could happen, but at the same time, I'm looking at that and thinking by kind of mid-October, we could be in the playoffs and really, really pushing for those 2 top spots. So I'm excited for the first half of the season, I will be honest.
Yeah, but also, and this is the caveat you have to say for every single team, we don't know yet everyone's kind of final squads, if you like, what we're actually going to be going and facing. How many of the teams that we were fearful of last season will be weaker, and how many of the teams that we were expecting to beat, like Birmingham City, which we already mentioned, we lost his first game. On paper, Birmingham City, if they keep the same side, and I already know they've lost some players, we should beat Birmingham home and away. I think all Blades would say that. But they may have new ownership by the time we play them. They may have had investment, and that can go for quite a lot of clubs, including ours.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely bang on there, mate. We just don't know. We just don't know. No. So any team could be really good. Any team could be really bad. That is the beauty of the Championship. I think we're going to say for absolute definite that Norwich are going to have a good season. You've got to say it. History has repeated itself time and time again. So other than Norwich, I'm not sure. Because even Watford have come down with a really good squad.
That was actually my next question for you. I know it's early. If I was to say, put you on the spot, who's your 3 teams to be in the Premier League come the end of the season. I know it's tough, but we might come back to this video and think that you're an absolute messiah. Nick the Octopus will be calling you.
I feel like it's going to go similar to last season. I feel like the teams that came down will probably end strong, just because of how money in football is working at the moment. I don't think there's going to be a massive influx of players in and out of teams. I think not. Let's take Sheffield United out of it. Let's say that. Let's just do that just for now. I think Watford and Norwich will be up there. Burnley have had a massive kind of depletion of their defence, really. I'm expecting Nick Pope to be sold as well. He's way too good to be playing Championship football. So that could be Tarkowski, Ben Mee, and Nick Pope. I don't think any of them will be playing from next season.
I think
Obviously,
you're right.
Two of them have already gone, and Nick Pope will probably be sold. So that's their. You know how difficult we found it in the Premier League when we lost our goalkeeper and Jack O'Connell, even, and a few injuries to defenders. No, but it's just true. Like, I would I'd rather lose a striker that scores 20 goals a season than lose your core defense and goalkeeper, because that's going to be tough to come back from. But yeah, we'll have to see.
I'd like to have a striker that scored that many goals to have that problem to worry about. But you know what, Burnley, I'm going to say it, they will be in League One before they're in the Premier League.
Wow, that is big. That is big. Wait for the prediction video for because people can then clip you. And
I noticed you. I noticed you're keeping your powder dry and not actually answering the question. Well,
all right. Well, Norwich, Watford, Blades. You push me.
That's exactly what I would have said. So we'll have to change it for the prediction video, and then it makes no sense.
All right, then let's take Blades out of it. Who's going to finish fourth? Let's put a third in there that's not Blades, because we've both agreed on that.
Do you know what? Until I heard about the transfer news that there's rumours about Rotherham selling quite a few of their key players, I actually really like what Rotherham do and how they go about their business. But now, hearing what I'm hearing, I actually think Rotherham are really going to struggle, because there's always a surprise team that just keeps that momentum going. We could see Luton actually do what no one's expecting them to do and continue in that upward trajectory. So Luton would actually be my kind of, not really outside pick, but outside pick before.
They can't be. They can't be, because they're not an outside pick anymore.
I know what
That's
you mean.
Two very good seasons in a row.
It's like Sheffield United's first season back in that Prem, finishing 9th, and then everyone's saying second season syndrome. No one's expecting it, and most people were proven right. And no one will really believe, maybe apart from Luton fans, that they could do it again. To do the trick again seems very, very difficult. I think they actually can.
Yeah, and I actually think that Luton, the thing is with Luton, now everybody knows that they're a team to beat. So that could work against them. It really could. Like us in the second season, I think a lot of people thought Sheffield United aren't actually a walkover, because that's what they will have thought at the start of the first Premier League season. And now everybody knows that Luton are not walkovers. They've got into the playoffs, for God's sake. So, they're not going to be... They're going to be a team that you're going to go to and you're going to think, we might take a draw here. We wouldn't. We're going there to win. But
Can I
everybody else...
agree with Kyle, by the way. I really think Swansea will get their act together, and they just started towards the end of the season. They're a team that play great football to watch. Wonderful in possession. We absolutely hammered them at Bramall Lane, and the worst game ever away from home. God, that was boring. And again, one that was moved for TV, which was really frustrating. But because it's a great day if you can get to go to the Mumbles and the Gower region and have a day away in Swansea. I've always enjoyed it when I have done it. But let's see what happens in terms of if they hit the ground running. I do think Swansea could be a side that, maybe surprise a few.
To be honest, mate, I thought that they were going to be when the new manager came in, because I really, really rate him. But when they came to Bramall Lane and were passing it out from the back, and we saw that with Man City, though, didn't we? When Pep came in, he didn't hit the ground running. They had a goalkeeper in the net who was terrible, who passed it straight to strikers. The defenders weren't quite up to the challenge of passing out from the back. And look at them now; they're fantastic. And I know it's a completely different beast, but he will be assembling a squad that plays his way. So, like you say, they really could. But at the same time, I just watched our fixture video from last season, and I said, after Birmingham had a really good end to the season before, I said that Birmingham were going to have a good season last season under Bowyer, and look what happened. So, You never know. You never know. Anyway, let's talk about kind of Christmas time and January time, mate. So we've got Coventry on Boxing Day at home. It's always great to have a home game on Boxing Day. Get everybody there. The ground will be rocking. The ground will be full. I always just think back to that Derby County match that was Boxing Day. Fantastic. Didsy scoring a lob over the goalkeeper. Everything kind of going against us and then is pulling it out of the bag at the end. Fantastic. So I'd like to see another one of those games against Coventry. I think Coventry will be better this season as well, even better than they were last season.
By that time, based on what you've said at the start of this video, you'd like to think that there could be a team featuring Bogle, Basham, Egan, Norwood, Fleck, Berger, and Dye, Sharp, maybe Norrington Davis on the left. Who knows who's going to be playing left centre defence by then? Maybe it's Jackie Longthrow. Maybe he's going to injure Gareth Bale if he's playing for Cardiff just before the World Cup, before England play Wales. Who knows? But there could be lots of things to take into account when we have our full fit squad back again, and Rhian Brewster as well.
There's actually another player in there that you didn't mention in regards to left wing back that I didn't mention at the start of the video either. And Mr. Max Lowe, yes. Do you know what? If he starts for us at left wing back and Forest don't come in for him, I'm going to be very happy with that. I think Norrington Davis had a great last game of the season, so he's going to be buzzing. Ender Stevens, I don't think will get as much of a look in this season.
4 left wing backs we've got on the books at the moment.
I think we will try and loan out Ender Stevens. Unless Ender Stevens... Let me finish.
Loan out Ender Stevens on his wages. Harry Boys as well, pushing on through the young ranks.
I think we will loan out Ender Stevens, pay some of his wage just to kind of get him off the books.
Well, he wouldn't be off the books. Would he?
Boys.
Some of him off the books.
Harry Boys.
Harry Boys
get part of his body off the books.
This right side. No, Harry Boys, I watched him live last season, only once, admittedly. I watched him on the telly maybe 6 or 7 times over a mid-time Solihull Moors were on. And he really impressed me. Looked really, really good. I know it's a big leap. Be good to give him a chance in pre-season.
We've got 1 million left wing backs, mate.
Is it 1 million? All right, I lost count.
1 million. But no, Max Lowe or Norrington Davis, I'm fine with either of them starting next season.
But I think that team that I just kind of ran through there gives us a bit of hope, because the team I just ran through there is without any signings, and Hecky may want to make 6 signings. That's one of the numbers that's been floated about.
And Hecky, he did say 5 or 6 to Radio Sheffield, and also he said no bids have come in for any players, including Sander. But what he also said was there've been kind of talks about other players, but he said he does not want to lose any players at all. And I think we need to keep this core squad together. Obviously, Morgan Gibbs-White was the shining light last season, but we also had a lot of players that scored goals, came to the forefront, like Illiman and Dye, or Illiman and 𝐍. I think we need to call him and 𝐍, because
I'm not.
I think it has to be. I'm swung. I'm swung in that direction.
Why?
Anyway, because I've been listening to kind of Senegalese people say his name, and it's not Ndai.
You know why I went with Ndai? It was because I did that clip I put online of him saying his own name.
It doesn't sound like that though.
But you know what he's done? He's changed how he pronounces his own name. And as Hall steward, I think that's outrageous.
Very good. Very good. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the 1st of January. QPR away, Hull. That's going to be quite a good one. London, first day of January. Let's see. Actually, is it going to be messy? Because is everybody just going to be massively hungover from the day before, and it's going to be freezing cold?
Yeah, it probably will be. I mean, QPR away last season was my favourite away day. You know I enjoyed it. The video, by the way, of the vlog, if you get a chance to watch that and you haven't yet, it's insane.
Fantastic. And right, let's move on to my tough run now, Hal. 15th of February to the 10th of April. We've got Borough. We've got Millwall away, which we know we barely ever win at Millwall away. Watford, Blackburn, Luton, Sunderland, West Brom, Norwich, Wigan, Burnley. So we've got West Brom, Norwich, and Burnley within 4 games, which I think that West Brom are going to be better this season. A lot of people saying that Steve Bruce is a terrible manager. He's done very, very well in his career. The worry for them, not for us, for them, is the fact that he's not done a great deal in recent times, and he really didn't. I think of Steve Bruce as kind of a Neil Warnock that'll doesn't need to assemble a side, that can come in and just look at what he's got and find the right players to win games, to get kind of points on the board. And he really didn't do that last season. I really thought that Steve Bruce was going to do well and he was going to hit the ground running, but I think they're going to do a lot better this season.
Now, they didn't even get the new manager bounce under Bruce. And the big question for me is not will they do well, it's when they sack Bruce. And also I've got a question for you. By the time we play Watford, how many new managers will they have had?
That's a fantastic point.
I mean the first time we play Watford.
I don't even know who's their manager right now.
Neither do I. I mean, who can keep up with these sorts of things?
No, is it still 𝐍𝐫𝐲? Has he had a couple of clubs since then? I don't know.
He's going to Moscow, isn't he? Yeah,
he is. He is. Anyway, my forehead is so sweaty. I'm so hot
mine
in this
too.
room.
Mine too. I actually don't know who Watford's manager is. If someone could put that in the comments.
We don't care, do we? We don't actually care. No, we don't. We don't care. Anyway, so last few games of the season, do you want to run through them?
Yeah, last few games of the season that I suppose spark some interest. You've got that World Cup break. It'd be interesting to see how that actually affects us. Knowing the Blades, Nick, you'll probably go along with this. We will be on a great run and the World Cup will come at the worst possible time, because that's always the way international breaks seem to hit us.
It's not just international breaks, it's all breaks, because somebody put a tweet out not too long ago about Sheffield United bad luck. And it's every time we are on a really, really great run or some things are going well for us, something happens. The war, when we were really, really good.
The war.
Winning I don't know which one it is. I think it's the second one.
Which was your favourite?
Anyway, we'll move on from that. The pandemic, when we were playing excellent football. Everything. What else have we got? We've got loads of things. I've forgotten off the top of my head now. I'll have to find that tweet and I'll retweet it tonight. There's been so much bad luck that we've had in the past.
Rob Edwards.
Who?
Former Forest Green manager, of course. They're going a different direction, Watford. I remember having a very long and quite dull conversation with Bobby in the background about his credentials, and I'd totally forgotten all of it. Sorry.
Do you remember when we said we didn't really care?
Still, that's the case, yes.
Yeah, okay.
All right, where were we? I'm looking now at the month of April, and then it's going to be May. At the moment, you've got a few big ones in there, haven't you? I think Wigan will struggle. I don't know if we're going to talk about who we think will be bottom three. Burnley.
Let's do it now. Let's do it now.
All right. I genuinely think Rotherham, Birmingham, and I can see Wigan.
Yeah. Sunderland will stay up, no problem. Hull City?
Do you know what? I think they'll be all right. And they look like towards the end, they had a bit of a wobble, but at times, but they also showed amazing moments where you thought this Hull City side's for real. And with a few clever additions, I think they'll finish sort of 6 places above the bottom. They'll be fine.
Okay. Last 2 questions for you now. Who are your surprise package and who do you think should do well will do poorly?
Great question. So I'll answer the first one.
Burnley, I think that's the one that you were going to go for.
Yeah, so Burnley's for the second part of that. Yeah, they're the ones that should do well that won't. I think maybe Cardiff City would be a surprise package because we don't yet know. Well, they were last season. They have been for a little while. But if they do get, the kind of players they're being rumoured to sign, Gareth Bale, maybe it's a bit of a player playing back in a place he loved like Craig Bellamy did with Cardiff. That could mean that's a game changer. I know it's not basketball where one player makes it all the difference, but a player like Bale makes all the difference.
He's not going. He's not playing in the Championship. No chance. I know he's not the player that he was, but there's no way until he's about 38, I'm going to say, that Gareth Bale will play outside the Premier League or outside a top division.
When Kyle Walker-Age decides to come back to Bramall Lane, yeah, I think you're probably right. Well, give me yours then.
I just realised, as I asked you that question, you were going to put it back to me, and I had not even thought about it. I think Burnley will be that team. I don't know. I feel like Coventry, it's a cop-out because I've already said it, but I feel like Coventry really, really could be dark horses. I don't think they're dark horses necessarily because I think that they had a good end to the season last season. They weren't far away from the playoff. They were one of those teams that we were slightly worried about. They obviously hammered us at the Rico. I was worried. I was worried at that point. I was thinking that we weren't even getting in the playoffs at that point. So, assemble a slightly stronger squad. They could go. I'm not saying they're going to be top 2, but I think
Coventry City, assemble.
I think they could easily get playoffs.
Interesting, very interesting. Well, just to finish the fixtures as we run through towards the end, there's a big one against Huddersfield. You know, a ding-dong Yorkshire derby at the John Smiths, 22nd of April. A great one that's, if it stays as a Saturday 3 o'clock, will be a sellout. Always a tricky one, but we enjoy Preston North End at the Lane. Again, let's hope it stays as a Saturday 3 o'clock, and almost no chance of it staying at Saturday 3 o'clock, but the final game of the season, because you'd imagine they will all be, they're usually all 4 or usually earlier.
Ones or fours.
So it's at the moment it says 3, but who knows? Maybe it will stay that way. Maybe the World Cup's changed everything, Nick.
Maybe.
Birmingham City away. I remember playing Birmingham City away on the final day before, or probably the 90s. And all I remember about it was the Tannoy announcement saying if any Birmingham fans encroached on the pitch, there'd be no lap of honour from the Birmingham players. And there were Blades fans literally putting their foot over the hoardings and just dangling their feet on the grass, going, ooh, try and ruin the whole thing, which I enjoy.
Very good. I think that's a strong end to the season. I don't think it's a great. We've not got many great teams in that final kind of 4, 5, 6 games. So we've got Huddersfield, obviously, as you've just said. Preston North End. You never know.
Never know.
You don't know with some of these teams. You don't know how they're gonna. And starting the season well can really, really push you on. So who knows? But Birmingham, Preston, Bristol City, Cardiff City, all games that you would think that we could win if we're on a good run and if we're towards the top of the division.
Yeah, and I would just say, as I did run through my kind of 11, if everyone was fit and without any signings, I'm encouraged just saying that out loud. Don't panic too much, Blades, if the signings that we are hoping for don't come off. We know the club are involved in discussions. They're doing much better now at keeping their cards closer to their chest so that things don't get leaked and potentially ruin those transfers. We're going to try and do our bit to help them with that, but let's keep fingers crossed. I think they know what they're doing. And I like the fact that we're not just going after here, there and everywhere. It seems like the scouting, as we saw with Aremovic, is now a bit more left field and slightly different to the rest of the league. And I like that.
Yeah, I do too. There's a foreign player that we're after, aren't we? 7-figure fee as well, apparently. That's what's been reported. So that's quite exciting to hear. And I'm sure, like you said, Hecky wants 5 or 6 players. And do you know what? Loans and freebies, I don't mind at all. Like, there's going to be players out of contract. There's going to be players that we can offer a little bit to who are in the kind of last year of the contract and things like that. I don't mind if we're going down a cheaper route. I think that we've got a very, very strong squad as it is right now.
And a very strong youth squad. Will Lancashire, Sidey Peck. These are players to get excited about.
And you know what as well, mate? In my video, when I said 5 reasons why we'll get promoted, I didn't even mention Daniel Jefferson and Will Asula. There's 2 strikers there that's had the taste of championship football and undoubtedly will get chance, especially in pre-season, to flourish. Daniel Jefferson scored a goal last night for
Lovely
England.
finish.
Fantastic finish.
And he's clearly, Nick, a confidence player.
He really is. And let's see what happens next season, because Billy Sharp is not going to be around forever, even though we would love him to be. I still think that Sharpie will probably finish our top goal scorer next season. I'm going to be honest. It's Billy Sharp, mate. It's Billy Sharp. I think he will possibly start next season. Oh, I did see that. Luis Mousset going to Stoke. Also, there was Jaden Bogle going for 750 grand to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, this is the same Twitter account, by the way. And annoyingly, he's got more followers than me. This guy is just making this nonsense up. So that is possible.
Well, he's not got more followers than me, though, has he? So
no, who has?
Yeah,
Elon Musk, and that's about it.
Yeah, only Elon, and that's because he's bought the damn platform. So anyway, I think we should leave it there. Let's get rid of the fixtures so your neck doesn't hurt anymore, Hal. There we go. He was moaning before the start of the video. Such a deep.
Hey, if we start talking about the start of the video, I'm not the one who's going to come out looking silly.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. I was wondering whether I should mention it right at the start, and I'm like, now let's move on. Let's move on. I'm sure Hal won't mention it and embarrass me.
Nah, of course not. I know that we both after this need a shower.
We do, not together.
No,
not
that's
together.
how excited we are by Fixture release day.
Absolutely. But let's be honest, it's not been the most exciting of fixtures. There's no Sheffield Wednesday in there. There's no Leeds. There's not really. There's only Rotherham. Is it just Rotherham and Huddersfield in Yorkshire?
Yeah. Hull.
Boring. Hull's not in Yorkshire.
No,
not counting it. Okay. We don't care about Hull. They care about us, though.
Mm.
So yeah, not mass anything, because Rotherham United, I don't get massively excited about that either. They're not massive rivals of us like they are Wednesday.
I was trying to think who's our big rival game in there, and we've got to wait till we play Forest again.
No, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Middlesbrough. It's got to be.
I suppose with Wilder, yeah, it's got to be. You're right.
There's nothing else. That's what we and we're just kind of clinging on for anything here, aren't we? Normally,
yeah.
It's like, why do they care so much about us? This season, we're going to be trying to get like rivals with everyone because there's nobody. We've got no one. I don't mind Rotherham. I've got nothing against Rotherham. Yeah, there's just not a lot there. So yeah, it's not been the most exciting of fixture releases that we've ever seen. But obviously, always lots to talk about. There's lots that has come out today that I mentioned at the start of the video. So if you came in halfway through, go back to the start of the video and listen to what we talked about. And yeah, I think that's about it. Hal, what do you think?
I think that is something to look forward to, as well as Bob Harris released fully on this channel. Great chat.
Tomorrow. Absolutely fantastic. Cannot wait. As well as another one that we've got coming up that we're not going to say. But what I will say is there you go. We know he's a he, first of all.
Right.
He got the Blades promoted in 2005, 2006. So,
some say single-handedly, others don't.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that's given you absolutely nothing other than one season when he played. So you've got about 20-odd players to go through. So enjoy. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time.